Good evening, everybody. Good evening from New York, live. This is Mark Carlin, the Results Hypnotist, once again. And today's little Facebook Live is going to focus on the things that you can do uh, instead of smoking. You know, if you're looking to quit smoking and you've gone through this stop smoking um, regimen and you're doing well, but thoughts pop into your mind, and those thoughts, if you continue to focus on them, might actually start to create this real strong desire. And as your thoughts continue to loop on the same thing, the desire grows, and it could become a craving very quickly. Uh, I can explain to you how that happens, and I will do that very quickly in a moment. During this process, during this little chat, I'm going to give you a few tools. I mean, there are plenty of things you can do. In fact, I was doing some research on them because I have information that people have told me and what I usually recommend. And I don't recommend like hundreds of things to do because who's going to think about all those things? You know, you got enough stuff to keep in your mind. But, you know, when I talk to my clients before we work together, I suggest to them certain things that they can do in place of smoking if a thought of a cigarette pops into their mind. And as I start to suggest, you know, 3, 4, 5 different things, they gravitate towards usually one of those 5 things or 2 of those 5 things. And what I do with that is not only tell them, hey, this is what you can do, I also install a fantastic feeling inside of them whenever they do those things. So it's like they're getting this fantastic euphoric response, much better than they ever got from smoking cigarettes when they do one of these other distracting behaviors instead of smoking. So it's a win-win. However, when you're working on your own, you can use these same distracting tools and you can imagine yourself feeling better and see how that works. It probably will not be as intense as when you're working with a hypnotist, you know, who's experienced at that, because that's basically what I do. I've been doing for over 20 years. I kind of know how to really ramp up the intensity of the emotion, and I do that with good emotions. You already know how to ramp up the intensity of the bad emotions. And that's what I wanted to talk about also, because when we start to think about like we're missing that cigarette, it makes us feel bad. We have a bad emotional response. When you miss something, you start to feel a sadness. It's like you lost something. And when you lose something, the emotional response to loss, to an experience of loss, is sadness. Okay? And when you start to think and then start to feel, the way that your body responds is based upon the hormones or chemicals that we have internally that we start to dump into our body. And those chemicals are designed to make us, basically to make us feel bad, to motivate us to go out and find something to replace what it is that we lost, or if it was something of value, to go ahead and replace what it is that exactly what it is that we lost if we can. Or if it's something that can't be replaced, find something to take its place. But we want to make there's like a hole, you know, like a space. There's an emptiness that we want to fill up with something of value. That's what the sadness is for. It's meant to be strong enough to motivate us to take the action. In the case of cigarette smoking, your loss is at certain point should be meaningless because it has no value. It's been hurting you. It's been destroying your health. It's, you know, I don't want to go into it. You already know all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do is give you a few of the basic behaviors that you can do in place of smoking. Now, studies have shown that when people quit smoking cold turkey without any assistance from anybody else, they just quit smoking, they usually think about a cigarette about 14 or 15 times during that first day. Okay, and that's average. 14 to 15 times that first day, and that thought of the cigarette remains in place for about 1 to 3 minutes or so. Now, the key is to find a distraction that you can use to remove that thought as soon as possible. Because what that thought does, as I said, is start to dump these hormones into your body, which then causes you to have a physical emotional response, and it feels bad. And it usually takes a few minutes, like 10, 15 minutes, for those chemicals, those hormones, to dissipate where you can get back to normal. Once those hormones start flowing in your body, it takes a little while for you to get back to normal. Now, that's not such a big problem, because 10 to 15 minutes of dealing with that emotion, you know, it's manageable. But what we usually do is we don't turn that thought off. Okay, if we don't turn the thought off, we keep looping that same thought. Oh, I want that cigarette. Where's that cigarette? I wish I had that cigarette. I missed that cigarette. Whatever that thought is, you keep looping it over and over and over again. And as you continue to think about those things, you're continuing to dump the hormones into your system, which causes this really bad, intense feeling that continues to grow stronger. So in order to stop that cascading of emotions, you eliminate it by distracting yourself from the thought. You want to get rid of the thought as soon as possible. And the way to do that is to replace the thought, because you can't run two of those opposing thoughts at the same time. So you replace the thought. And that's what this is all about. Those behaviors start to distract you from that thought. And then you start to think about the behavior that you're currently doing. Got it? Make sense? Good. So here's some of the things that you can do. You can drink a glass of water. Drinking a glass of water works very well. There were suggestions online about eating certain foods. Now, I do not recommend eating anything to distract you from smoking cigarettes. Absolutely not. Drinking water is one thing. Eating foods of any kind, I don't care, don't do it. Really, just do not do it unless you want to be one of those statistics that verifies that when you stop smoking, you gain weight, okay? Because when you start to eat in place of smoking, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to gain weight. So no matter what it is, I don't care if it's on Weight Watchers list of no caloric value, you can eat as much of this food as possible. Do not do it. Do not do it. I don't care if it has no caloric value. You're actually eating food. It's bulking you up. It's going into your body. It's causing you to feel this physical overloading of food in your body, and then you become comfortable with how that feels being stuffed. And that's what you end up doing with the foods that do have calories. It doesn't make any sense. Just don't do it. Stay away from food. Even sucking on candies or anything like that. You can floss or brush your teeth. You can whistle or hum for a while. If you're driving in a car, you can sing some songs and at great volume. You can do some exercise. Do like a few sets of jumping jacks or push-ups or sit-ups. You can run in place. If you got a rebounder, that's a great exercise. You can rebound. You can put some lotion on your hands, or you can even put some coconut oil on your hands, or some olive oil on your hands. You can put something on your hands. Now, when your hands are all, filled with that oil, don't touch anything that's going to get stained. But it will prevent you or slow you down from trying to reach for that cigarette. Just work it into your hands, just keep on working it into your hands. Also, make a list of what is the positives of stopping smoking and the negatives of stopping smoking. And you can distract yourself by just reminding yourself about what it is that you're looking to accomplish, what it is that you're going to be gaining as a result of being the non-smoker. You can write a goodbye letter to cigarettes. Some of these things, to me, it's better to just remove yourself. These are nice things to do before you do that stop. I would do it before. When you're looking to distract yourself, you want to keep your mind away from cigarettes and smoking. So I find that's best. You want to, you want to find a reward for the work that you're doing, and it does require your active participation to stop smoking. It does require you to do a little bit of work on this. If you're missing people, you can get on the phone and call a friend, text them, reach out to them, join a support group of some sort, spend some time with if you have any children, spend some time with your children. You do some volunteer work. Just call the people that love you or supposed to love you and that you love, and connect with them. Around the home, you can do some housework or yard work. You can wash the car. You can wax the car. You can check your oil, check your tire pressure. You can clean up the garage. You can clean up the basement. You can clean up the attic. You can declutter. You can do the laundry. You can scrub the floors. You can vacuum. You can dust. You can alphabetize your books or your CDs. Who has CDs these days? I don't know. What is going on? You could take apart your junk drawer. You could open up your drawers. That you can refold all your clothes. You can clean the toilet. There's a lot of things you can do around the house, I'm sure. You might even you might want to paint something. Paint the windows, paint the walls, paint the doors. There's lots of things if you have a home, there's an unlimited amount of things that you could do. And while you're doing those things, you stop thinking about cigarettes. And if you do need any help with this, you can always call me. My phone number is 212-223-1832. I can help strategize with you some more of these things that will benefit you. Yesterday in the Facebook Live yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I mentioned I had a poll. Today, I finally figured out why the poll did not load on this Facebook Live. So today, there is the poll. I think there is a poll. We'll find out when I shut this down and I go look at the feed. So there should be a poll. Take advantage of it. Poll. If you see the answers, it's just a multiple choice poll. If the answer to the question is not one of those four for you, then put something down in the comments section. Just answer what you think is what you think would be a better response for you in the comment section. I appreciate you being here. Do the normal things that you would normally do to spread the word, let people know you're listening to something of value that can help you. And I appreciate you being here. All right. Take care. Have a great weekend. I know it's Saturday night. Time to go. Take care.